I'm Fatema Sardharwala. I've been on council for 2 terms now, so EPI council. So I started in 2020, which was a bit of a challenge because I started during COVID. So I didn't attend an in-person meeting for until 2022, actually. So I have, I suppose my USP here is that I'm an in-house pharma patent attorney, and I think so that brings its unique challenges. So as an in-house person, of course, I see the patent from conception to filing to grant, and then often through litigation. So we see the patent through its entire lifetime. As you maybe appreciate, a drug takes 10 to 15 years to bring to market. So we often maintain the patent for its entire lifetime, which I think many of the other subject matters don't see the patent to its very end. And then we also work with obviously supplementary protection certificates throughout Europe. So we have interactions with European, the EU as well as EPO. So back to myself, I'm an organic chemist by training. I've got a PhD in organic chemistry and small molecules. So that means drugs, proper drugs, I suppose, old style drugs. I was actually an examiner for 18 months at the UK Patent Office before I joined the profession. So it was interesting to see the other side of things. So having been on council 2 terms, I've been a member of the EPPC Pharma Group. So that group meets with EG1 examiners on about an annual basis, and we discuss practice and law. So, for example, we discussed the plausibility, what we call the plausibility decision, G2 of 21, in detail with examiners to see how they would apply that in everyday kind of prosecution practice, so that we could reach a common understanding of how we should file, what we should file, how we should argue our cases. So that interaction is really useful. In the company I work in, GSK, I've worked in the global health space for quite a long time. So I've worked with diseases such as TB and malaria, and so I kind of have a wider world experience of looking at patents in not just the main jurisdictions. As has been mentioned by a number of different candidates here, I'm passionate about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I know John and Nina are also members of the newly elected committee. So personally, I've led outreach activities in diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI). Internally at GSK, I've held some IP careers days for diverse students. I've co-led internship for diverse students, and I really am passionate about bringing diverse candidates into the profession to have a means to enter the profession for bright candidates into the profession, regardless of background, gender, etc. So that's one of the areas. So I've been a member of the EPI D&I working group before it was elected as a committee since 2022. And some of the contributions I made there were I campaigned quite strongly amongst EPI council members to maintain the standards, the fairness and equity in the EQE entrance requirements, because there was some move to make that more difficult, and that would be challenging for some of the more, people from disadvantaged backgrounds and diverse backgrounds. I also contributed, if you have a look at the EPI website, there's some EPI case studies. There's an EPI section on the EPI website, and I've got some case studies on there that we put together. So I was elected by EPI Council in November to be part of the new DEI Committee. And we met last week, I think John mentioned, for the first meeting in Munich. So we've got a number of priorities for 2026, and you'll be hearing about those in due course. And I would be really proud to serve another term on EPI Council, if you do choose to elect me. But what I would say is, whether or not you elect me, please do turn out and vote. We need as many of your votes as possible, because the UK is an important jurisdiction in the EPI. So obviously it's got all the different EPO membership countries, but we do have a large presence there, and it's really important that we get the right candidates in. So please do turn out and vote. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much, Fatima, and that very important call to action, of course.
Yes.
Thank you for that.